Okay. Last week wasn't terribly exciting. You guys traveled south. You came across Caterin and Evans. I'm sorry. First you came across Grishkara, where you met, and they gave you a significant reward for aiding in disposing the undead. They also gave Elro a nice little new hammer, which I'm sure he is eager to play with.
Definitely.
You also came across Caterin and Evan's home, their little cabin in the middle of the woods, and found out that Evan is a drunk and Caterin is a very nice lady. But she fed you, and you guys went on your way the next morning, and got to Edgewater. Um, I believe it's just shortly after lunch, it's like 1 o'clock, something like that. And then you went and sat and had lunch with Shira, and you met the two folks that were traveling with Agris, named Wix, a rabbit humanoid named Wix, and a half orc named Dagon. But they told you that Agris opened a portal for them, and then after they went through, they looked back, and Agris was waving and let the portal close. And you spent the rest of the afternoon trying to get to know each other and making plans for the following day. I believe you guys also took your long rest. Shira invited you to stay for the evening. Can anyone think of anything else that happened?
You already went over melting the ice on the chicken, so just I had to. I still have to talk with Shira about one. Is it okay to remove to decursify me, or am I pretty much stuck?
I don't recall her saying she actually could.
Never got to talk because we ended the day before. Remember, I said, hey, after we finished eating, can we do this? And then because of time, so I never got to talk to her about it.
Yeah, we were still at lunch. We're just after lunch, starting to thaw the uh, stupid metal chicken so that we could, so that Verheis, our resident um, road wannabe, um, could look through and see if there was anything, any diamonds or whatever that would help with the whatever with Lord.
Resurrection.
Yeah, that stuff. Or anything else in particular that might help us.
Okay. And all you're using to try to solve this is your mace?
Mace and the floaty bar that has the red button that you get for a heater.
Movable rod of warming.
Am I still talking?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Well, you were talking.
So I got to push the button. Did that work?
Yes, we
See.
hear you. Okay. If all you're using is the mace and that warming tool, it's going to take a long time for it to thaw. As a matter of fact, you won't see an appreciable gain before you call it a night. So,
Yeah, I look around and ask if anybody has the ability to cast fire to melt it to assist me.
Further away from it.
Is that where it moves away? Or anybody has the ability to control water to where they can remove it. As I think about it, because I know somebody used that skill somewhere else.
Well, I can cast Firebolt on it, but it has kind of an explosive effect. I don't know if that would be a good thing or not.
No, I'd rather just leave my mace on there for a while. But I was hoping somebody had something that that water elementary.
Nope. Sorry, can't help.
Are you trying to destroy it with water?
No. Okay. Sometime in this campaign, somebody was playing with ice, and they turned the ice into water and moved it. So that's the only reason my character knows that if somebody has the telemetry uh, skill, and I don't know what the skill is, water elementary skill that they could remove the water from the frozen object, or remove the ice from frozen object, because ice is water.
The spell is control water.
And I believe the first thing I'm thinking about is Agrias.
Yeah, I know, but there's a bunch of new people inside this room, so that's why I was asking if any of they knew it.
Nobody's responding.
And since it's gonna be all day, I'll stay with this while you guys go to bed, and then I'll try to stay up long enough to melt this and as best I can. But I won't use the floaty stick more than once, just because you can only get one use return per day.
Did force damage crack through the ice?
Could, but there's also a possibility of damaging anything that is frozen. There's actually there are 6 charges in it, so you could use it for 6 hours.
I get approval from the group before I do that.
Try something real quick. See if this works.
Okay, by me.
Let's walk over and look at it and see if she can dispel whatever magic did this to this metal thing.
I guess Wix wouldn't know.
Oh, nice. How does that work? And I don't mean how does it work in practice. I mean, how does it work? How does his effort work on the game?
See, Wix is a bard.
Yes.
Give me a charisma check.
Well, if there's any time to get a crit.
Okay. Verheis. As Verheis is slowly moving his mace over the top of this frozen chicken, and he's got the immovable rod laying on top, and it's very slowly making a um, melted line in the ice, and it just, no matter what you do, the ice just doesn't seem to be melting very fast. It's melting a lot slower than typical ice would melt. And Wix kind of steps over, inspects the chicken for a moment, and takes time to cast the spell. And the ice just turns to water. And just kind of flows away, totally drenching the floor. And Shira just kind of looks at the chicken, looks at Wix, looks at the floor.
Looks at my mace, looks at the chicken, and then
Mm,
looks at my feet being soaked and shaken. I can't complain, and I can't. Thanks, Wix. And he asks Shira for some towels so he can wipe up the mess.
and Shira will give you some tells.
Picks up the entire thing before he comes over. He looks at our resident rogue over there. Can you make sure this thing isn't trapped when I go to do what I got to do? Picking all this stuff up.
You go give me a investigation check. You don't see any traps. Hello?
Hello.
And Eagle, you don't see any traps.
Okay. I was in the midst of switching from my computer speakers to my earphones because I could hardly hear everybody talking. So I probably missed a lot.
Verheis asked you to look over the chicken to look for traps because they just finished. They were just able to thaw it out, and he wanted you to look for traps because he's Verheis. And had you roll investigation, and yeah, you don't see any traps.
Okay, I'll let Verhees know that I don't see any traps.
Verheis will walk over there, giving Elra the look that I had to melt this thing with a mace that I didn't like to use to begin with, and then start. I'm gonna start looking for compartments or diamonds and all the good stuff.
Well, there's kind of like a trunk essentially, kind of a a section that has like a little handle that's um, it's designed to look like a feather, and you can just you know pop it open and there's a storage area inside.
Okay, I pop it open and look to see what's there.
Okay, give me an investigation check.
I want to. I look over at Eagle Laws right there. Do you want to help me look while you're right here?
Okay.
Verheis sees nothing. He's blind as a bat.
I start looking through it thoroughly, investigating every nook and cranny.
Okay, you see a bunch of different tools, some of which you have absolutely no clue what they're used for. Um, Typical um, adventurer's gear, crowbars, rope, mess kit, pitons. There's a stash of 20 rations in here. There's a tent, tinderbox, torches, a set of soggy clothes, water skin sitting in the hidden in the back. It's not really anything terribly interesting. It's just basic adventurer's gear.
Well, Verheis will, since Eagle is having a better eye of what to find, he asks him. He points to the leg and says, "I know, yeah, there was some compartments on that leg that he kept playing with when we were up in the farm. In case you can find something there." Pulling all this stuff out of the compartment.
Okay, there's nothing in any legs. I have no clue what you're talking about.
When Agrius was describing this character, he would say, "I'm over on the leg. I'm taking because there's different." So that's why I was saying what I was saying.
Okay, I don't know enough about this character to be able to describe that. Sorry.
Oh no, that's cool. That's cool. You moved everything into one section. We're okay with that. Did he find the box, the handheld?
Sending stone, basically.
Um. The radio, basically.
Yes, thank you. That's
Um,
what.
No, it is not present. At least not that you found.
Okay, so we've lost that. So there's no diamonds to help res them, and there is no box to help us find the people we are going after. This is going to be a fun trip, he says, slightly sarcastic with an attitude.
Sure, will kind of speak up and say, um, with this one being dead, is there anything tying you to undertake this mission?
Verbal agreement. Verhey says. As he looks over his group.
If you agree to take this mission, what good is it to complain about it? Do what you agree to do and be done with it.
Nod. Thank you.
We'll say maybe a small one have box.
He looks at the frozen body and says, "You get to check that."
Wasn't the body that was frozen, just the other one, right?
Okay, then Verice will inspect the body to see if there's anything on the body.
Give me another investigation check.
Plus a 1d4. Not that that's really going to help, but it might get you into double digits.
I don't know. I don't know if you want to do this, but I get tired of using guidance for others and them not seeing it or whatever, so I usually just roll it for them and just click on the one in the global skills modifier. It
Yes,
says
if
one.
I would have rolled it, I had to reset my. I closed out and reopened the window just because of how badly my rolls were. I'm like, yeah, nah. When I have two crit ones in a row, I know it's time to.
It happens. But if you go down to the global skills modifier, just either in the skills, down by the skills, if you just click on the where it says guidance there, 1d4 guidance, it'll automatically roll for you.
Just so everybody remembers, I am at exhaustion, so I have disadvantage on all ability checks.
Fun.
Well, hey, that took you from a 1 to a 5, so that's great.
You don't find a whole lot of much value on Lauren's corpse. You do find the box, but it is quite badly smashed. And conveniently, the only person you know that might be able to fix it is the dead one.
I show
That portion is funny, but just looking at the box, I'll roll a laugh.
show the box to everybody and say we're on the mission again without this.
Not need box. No forest. No people. No animal. Can find.
Thank you for your help. He puts it back in the pocket of the dwarf. I mean, yeah, the dwarf of the gnome, and walks back. And he walks over to Shira and asks, "Can I talk to you?"
Certainly. What can I do for you?
I explained the situation with the mace and wanting to know her opinion of it. And is there a way that I can? Am I stuck with it, or am I? Is there a way that she can help me rid myself of it because of the bad stuff that keeps happening if I don't aggressively attack something or hurt something, and my personality changing?
I'll roll check your hammer. She'll kind of look at you thoughtfully for a moment. And kind of...
Sweetness.
She'll kind of look at you thoughtfully for a moment, kind of take a few moments to study the mace. And she says, well, you are an adventurer. You tend to... I mean, forgive me if I'm wrong, or feel free to correct me, but you tend to get into combat quite regularly, right?
With as long as I've had this, it's not regularly as one would assume.
And she kind of regards you another moment or two, and then says, have you tried to have a real discussion with this fiend? Not that I have a lot of experience in the matter, but from what I know and the information that I've read, they seem to be pretty good at making deals. I mean, this fiend obviously wants something. Maybe you can negotiate some sort of arrangement with it.
He looks at her and he looks at the mace, and you can see his expression just because he comes to the understanding that he's stuck with it. And he picks it up and he goes, "Thank you," and goes to walk away. Before he does that, he looks at her and says, "Do you have, since you may not know about this fiend, but you've heard, do you have ideas of good negotiations?"
I'm afraid that's more of a personal preference and regarding what you can stomach. Just remember that whatever you agree to, make sure she agrees to the deal. Fiends are very strict about their deals, according to what I've read. And it will uphold its deal with you to the letter. So be very careful about its wording.
Thank you. It gives me something to think about.
Are you switching the thing? Or
Sorry, yes, I was looking at your character sheet.
Woohoo!
I was just trying to edit the weapon and the.
Isn't that disturbing when you're trying to do something and suddenly it jumps away?
Sorry, it didn't seem logical that plate armor required attunement, but I guess it does.
I'm okay with it not, but they kind of wrote it in.
Okay. What are you guys doing?
Verheis eats and just goes into the corner and pretty much sulks.
Go out towards town and see if he can find a store merchant person.
Okay. There is a general merchant for the most part. Carries very basic goods. Nothing particularly special or anything like that. So if that's what you're looking for, then yeah, you know where to find him.
I'm gonna go with Elro. I need to replace some bolts.
And as the two of you enter the store, merchant kind of, it's a short dwarven fellow. He kind of looks around and looks at you unexpectedly. You know, this great big tall, furbolg and this little itty bitty halfling come walking in together. It's kind of an odd sight. Says, welcome. What can I do for you?
Need paper.
And I'm looking for crossbow bolts.
When you ask for bolts, he points at a barrel that's just stacked to the brim with bolts. And it's got quivers hanging on the side that you can pick up and fill. And he says, it's a gold for 20 of them. And he turns back to you, Elro, and says, well, what kind of paper are you looking for? I've got regular drawing paper, I have parchment, I have the kind of high quality paper you use to create scrolls.
Need draw paper. Need big cart 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 big map paper. Draw map.
He kind of grins at you and smiles, and then he or grins at you and nods, rather. Sorry. He kind of looks under the counter for a few moments and comes out with this stack of about 20 pages, and it's essentially legal size paper. What is it? 9 by 16. will this do for you, or?
Elro will nod. Got more?
He kind of nods and reaches under the counter again, pulls up the rest of this little basket full of paper. And there's about another 40 pages of it.
Elro will smile.
How much of it do you want?
How much all?
He kind of flips through it real quick. Says, sorry, distracted by something else.
No.
$2 for a lot of it. Should be good. Should be good.
I have stuff you buy. Club. He'll pull out the club and the regular Morning Star. Need?
He kind of looks at the club and kind of frowns a bit. And looks at the Morning Star and says, I'll give you a straight trade. Club and Morning Star for the paper.
Elro will smile and nod.
What's the deal? And he'll take the Club and Morning Star and slide the paper over to you.
I'll walk over to the counter and tell him two quivers of bolts.
Okay, are you actually taking the quivers, or?
I already had quivers. I just took
Okay.
the 40 bolts.
Okay. $2.
I'll hand him 2 gold.
Thank you, kind sirs. Anything else I can get for you today?
Market in market. So draw. Or we'll pull out some drawings and kind of show him the drawing.
Oh, this is some mighty fine work, but I'm afraid we don't get much, many people asking for this kind of art here. You probably do better to try Whistle Hollow. They tend to deal with that kind of stuff a little more often than we do.
Or we'll shrug and give him a toothy grin and a small nod. Thank you.
Thank you.
I walk back to where the party's at.
As I will I.
Okay. Okay, Dorinda, what are you doing during the time that Elro and Eagle go shopping and Verheis is off in the corner whispering with Shira?
Actually, I thought Verheis was in the corner sulking, but
Oh, that was that. He went to another corner, started sulking after the conversation with Shira.
I see. All right, well, I looked over my supplies. Uh, I don't know. I don't have many crossbow bolts, but I hardly ever use them, and so I decided not to get any right now. Uh, and I don't really have any other supply needs, so I decided not to go along. Uh, Instead, I sat out on the veranda and just enjoying the weather and the pleasant day. So often, or it's not very often, that you get to just take in the atmosphere and do nothing.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm being lazy.
You're allowed to do that occasionally. I do it all the time. Okay, anything else you guys want to do before bed?
Nope, I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay. Wix kind of sits back in her chair and just starts playing on this fancy looking accordion. Very colorful looking.
Don't they call that a concertina?
We'll nod her head and say, yes, ma'am, they do.
What makes it different than a regular accordion?
A lot smaller, a lot more compact. If I had an accordion, well, I'd be in trouble walking through this forest.
Okay, I'm assuming everyone's going to bed then.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, you wake up, you have a breakfast waiting for you. As usual, Shira makes everyone breakfast. Um, Wix and Dagon announce their plans that they are heading down to Whistle Hollow.
Well, have a nice trip. Whistle Hollow can be an interesting place. Depends on what you need and what stories you'd like to listen to.
Oh, I've got so many stories from there. It's amazing. It is amazing. Not only the stuff that we saw, but I've got stories about Agrias's life when she was growing up, and I've got. I mean, we saw a 16-legged snake. It was amazing.
And it gets more legs every time she tells about it. Shira says that.
Well, if it's all the same to you, I'd prefer to hear about those kind of creatures and not actually have to face them.
Pull out a. Actually, let's see. Never mind. Elro will believe her.
So Elra believes Wix.
Yep.
Okay, Verheis, you keep the one, but you don't gain a new one. Point of exhaustion, that is.
Thank you.
Okay, so what are you guys doing? I mean, Wix and Dagan announced their plans to return to Whistle Hollow. What are you guys doing?
Since we've already gotten permission, Verizon says, since we've already gotten Shira's okay for keeping the body and the metal junk, let's go. Let's continue on to.
Find Smallwind brother.
Yeah, the only thing and since we know we've got to go into back of the woods, I was wondering if anybody wanted to go down to Whistle Hollow and then come up the back end towards where we're supposed to be going.
That seems a bit out of the way. Why don't we head off to the west and go as directly as we can? I think it'd be faster.
Okay, because I was thinking about picking up any. If they had any quests in that area that we can multitask.
Yeah, but do you have a quest now?
No, that's what I was saying. Since he's a quest giver for the different areas, to see if he had a quest, for that area as well that we could pick up. So do two things at once. Possible.
Dog. Dog, find us if you need us.
Okay.
Love, Dog.
And so nobody else needs to buy anything from there. So okay.
So that said, I thank Shira for breakfast and offer to help clean up.
Oh, and did we already give the spider webs and everything to her, or whatever we got for her specifically?
Spinnerets? I don't know if we did.
Because he, as Verheis goes to turn around, he stops and he thinks about it. And he goes, "Did we give you the spinnerets that we promised you?"
Agrius gave me some.
Okay,
Did you have more?
I didn't know who had those, so I didn't. If we had them, I was okay.
We had, she had a couple. We had a bunch more. I don't know who had them, but we had a bunch more.
Weren't me.
Up until now, we've had spinnerets with us, and we had no idea that Agrius was coming here before she went down to her home. So
If we have them on hand, since we didn't know what Agrius did, and I've already opened my mouth, if somebody wanted to give them to her, they could. If not, we don't have them, so we're good either way.
I don't have any spinnerets myself, but
Okay, then Agrius had them all, and she gave it away.
Okay.
Grice puts together all his stuff and gets ready to go.
I take the metal rod and put it back in my bag.
Okay.
Verheis does mention to Eagle, since he pulled the stuff out of the back end, that we should bring the food with us. The extra 20, and motions to during this, and she's carrying most of the group loot to put it in with there, so that it had so we had the additional meals.
So you want me to carry the extra meals?
No, Dorinda, since she was already carried, she's already keeping track of that, so that's why I was just to add those into our group meals.
Okay.
Because everything else out of there, we all have a copy of, except for the tender. I think is the only thing that we didn't. The tender box, I think, is the only thing that we don't have. But we have mages who can cast fire.
in character, I agree with you. Out of character, it's a sorcerer.
Say that again.
Said in character, I agree with you, but out of character, it's a sorcerer because her player will kill you.
are you suggesting I'm not a nice person?
A, I think is pretty nice. Dorinda's a bitch.
I don't know if I like that attitude.
That was good.
How many or rations did you think I was carrying?
You've been carrying the party rations from the beginning.
Yes.
So my character automatically thinks you've got the party rations. If we're taking the 20 rations from Illiken, or not Illiken, but
Lauren.
Lauren's chicken, it's party loot. So I gave it to Thorenda to carry as to add to any of the extra rations that we may have as a party.
Okay, I just was checking because I don't have, uh, as party rations, I have 3 boar rations left. And
Cool. Now we have 23.
okay, but they're not all boar. And I wouldn't want to mislead someone.
And then he has all his gear together and he's ready to go. Unless somebody else has something they want to remember that Verheis is having a hard time remembering.
Would love to remember something else, but I'm not sure what I should be remembering. So
He does ask Shakira if she knows of a way to get back in a path or something to get back in there.
Back in there.
He describes where we're supposed to be headed if she knew of, a trail or anything that would get us there from here. Since she does the woods a lot. Granted, she goes into the fairy realm a lot too, but still.
She just kind of random or vaguely points west. She says that way.
He laughs. He says, "Thank you."
So we're heading straight west out of town.
Pretty much.
I think actually it pretty close to northwest would be the most direct route.
Okay.
I mean, we're supposed to be getting to the mine, which is kind of set off there to the northwest of where we are now.
we walk. We get hill. We walk up. We walk around mountain. We find.
Okay. By the way, looking through our bag, I found 7 spinnerets. And maybe we should just give those to Shira. She'll probably find more use for it than I will, or than we will.
Okay by me.
It's okay. Now, the rogue side of Bryce saying, all that money!
Oh, what money. I can't believe that 7 spinnerets is going to bring us all that much money.
Need to be fair. They are giant spinneret.
Well,
Yeah,
boy.
yeah, and we had to kill a bunch of stuff for it, so you never know. I'm also the type of guy that during Diablo or anything, I kill a whole lot of things just to keep selling the product that I'm making.
Yeah. Well, I can keep carrying them.
It's up to you guys.
It's up to you. That's why I said, Bryce said we have them, and he didn't know that she'd already received them. So, and then you said we don't have any more. So you can say okay yes or okay no. It's all up to you. He's good either way.
Okay, well, I'm going to give them to Shira because I'm sure she'll find a use for them. And to be honest, they'd probably just sit here in our bag of holding until they rot because we don't have a use for spider poison and are not likely to.
Yeah, sure is the reason you guys picked them up to begin with.
Yes. Okay, so
And she takes them from you, and she thanks you, and she hands you a pouch of gold.
well, thank you. Dare I ask how much is in the pouch?
175.
My, that's generous of you.
Was that not the price we agreed on?
Well, yes, but I thought since you already had received these, it may not be that high.
Well, they always come in useful. You can never have enough.
We thank you for your generosity and your answers. Be right back, Russian.
Why don't we go ahead and I'll take a break?
From what I understand, we're getting ready to leave the facility. Or heading northeast.
West.
Northwest.
Northwest, yeah.
Thank you, northwest.
Okay, who's leading?
I'll lead.
Go and give me a survival check.
I'll help him.
So I'll head out, heading northwest.
And go ahead and give me a survival check.
Okay.
I don't know why I bother asking you.
Well, I thought stealth and perception would be enough, but oh well.
Honestly, your ability of stealth is limited by the fact that the rest of your party is not stealthing. So, it's not really helping you much.
Well, I figured I'd move out, quite a bit in front of them.
And he's not the first one aimed at when when he comes up on somebody.
I tried, but I didn't help much.
Oh yeah, I'm invisible.
With heavy armor, still rolls. Congratulations.
Well, it's a 12.
Oh, I thought it was the 20.
No, I get disadvantage because I'm in heavy armor.
Okay.
So, like I said, I'm invisible.
Still more hidden than Dorinda.
As I said, the reason why Eagle's smart to do that is because the rest of us are the ones that get the attention so he can keep on going. Our party's distraction.
Okay. Sorry, my mind just isn't working at the moment. Give me a second. You get to the edge of the village and just kind of start heading out. Um, about halfway through the morning part of your travels, um, roughly 3 hours in, um, Eagle, you find some very large animal tracks. Um, Go and give me a nature check to see if you recognize them. Again, I'm not entirely sure why I keep asking you. Um, you do certainly recognize them, though these are probably almost double the size that you would expect them to be. They're um, feline tracks. You can't quite tell for sure if it's panther, tiger, lion, whatever, because you don't really expect to see any of those creatures in this forest. But um, large cat tracks, essentially.
I'll stop and I'll let the group know that I found some tracks. They belong to a feline, and they're a lot bigger than a typical feline track would be. So I'm letting them know because that makes me a little bit leery because the tracks are so big.
Just as a um, example, I guess. The track is actually big enough for you to sit down in it. Being a small little halfling that you are.
That's just not a little bit bigger. That's huge. At this point, then, I will show them the tracks to show them how big they are, and advise them that we need to move carefully and observantly.
He'll look at them and he asked if anybody knows how fresh they are.
He'd be able to tell by with his check. Um, probably this creature came through here probably sometime in the last 24 to 48 hours.
I'll let them know that they're no older than 2 days old, most likely about a day old. Can I tell which direction these tracks are going? Of course I can. Which way are they going?
Um, if you guys are headed straight northwest, then they're headed like 10 degrees more to the west than you guys are. They're on a similar path, just not the same direction, not quite the same direction. They're,
I'll let the group know that, and again advise them to keep their eyes open and ears open. Because cats have a tendency to circle.
He will keep his eyes out. It's something I can kill.
And I'll continue moving in the direction northwest. Using all my woodman skills.
okay, are you guys gonna actually change to moving stealthily, or are you just gonna stick to normal movement?
I'm going to try to move stealthily.
Okay, just
Stealthy would be a good idea.
if you are trying as a group to move stealthily, it will cut your speed in half.
How big is this cat? Is it something that we could easily take or assume we could take?
Okay, be advised. Okay, I can sit down inside the track.
Yeah, so the track's probably a little over a foot and a half wide.
He stealths.
Yeah, until we get further out or further into the woods, I'd say suggesting that the stealth movement would be a good idea.
Okay, so party's moving slower but quieter. Let me get another stealth check from everyone.
You
Sorry, go
know,
ahead, Brenda.
I'm just going to say that I'm trying, but I I just can't seem to be quiet today.
Well, it's a good case that in this case it is a group check, not a single party check. Or single person check. Wow, Berheis, great job. Bomb it for everyone.
It's all right. Eagle can pick up the slack for all of us slackers.
I was going to suggest a rogue carry Dorinda.
Okay, you guys continue forward slowly. Or stealthily. Working your way through the trees and the rest of the jungle or the forest. Um, Lunchtime comes. Are you guys stopping or?
I say since we've had to slow down, we keep on going and just eat as we go.
That's fine.
Good by me.
After Shira's big breakfast, I'm not really hungry anyway.
It goes anyway.
Okay, you guys go ahead and travel through lunch. Um, Eagle, go ahead and give me another perception survival check. How much you want to bet he gets higher than 22 on both of them?
You'd win that bet.
Okay. You continue heading northwest, and after about another 4 hours of travel, you come across another series of tracks. Um, this set of tracks is a little bit smaller than the last set you saw, but it is also up for a large feline creature. This one just seems to be a little bit smaller, and this seems to be heading the opposite direction, kind of back towards Edgewater.
I'll stop and let the party know about the tracks and the direction they were headed.
I think Shakira has a good protection of the camp or her town, so we can keep on going. Since we didn't see it coming this way.
Can I tell how old the tracks are?
Give me a nature check real quick. I don't know why I bother asking. Um, this one seems to be a little more fresh than last one. Possibly the last 12 hours or so.
I'll let the party know that what I perceive, okay, the age of the tracks, and considering that we haven't seen it, I suggest we continue moving on as we were.
Hello?
Hey, Mr. Peters.
Yeah,
Hey, this is Pam. Sorry to be called late.
no problem.
It looks like I should be there around 6 or 6:30. I try to give.
If everybody's okay with that, I'll head on out.
Head on out.
I will continue moving northwest as using all my woodland skills to make sure nobody sneaks up on us.
Sorry, I had a phone call I had to take. It was my nurse. Wound care nurse. Sorry. Um, I'm sorry, I didn't catch what you guys were saying after about all that.
I let them know that about the age of the tracks, and considering that we had passed, it had passed by us, and that we go ahead and continue on. And everybody said okay, so I moved on out, heading northwest, using all my woodman skills to make sure that nothing sneaks up on us.
Okay, you have about 2 more hours of daylight before, well, of daylight. Um, you guys continue traveling northwest from there. As far as you can tell, there doesn't appear to be anything of interest beyond that. Um, you want to try to find a place to camp, or you want to keep going as darkness falls?
Yes,
Verheis
I
will
think we
say
go camp.
camp, yeah, because with those paw prints, just to cover.
Sorry, say that again. Bryce?
Camping. He says camping because of the paw prints. No, not going in the dark.
Okay. Um, okay, you guys set up camp? You guys doing any profession stuff?
Since we still have a little bit of time, Verizon's going to try doing potions.
You are welcome to do so.
2 hours, and the biggest one he can make in 2 hours.
Are you searching for herbs first or no?
No, I have 10 of the or 8 already.
And Eagle, do you have time and the willingness to help improve my survival skills?
Yes, I will help you improve your survival skills. What do I got to roll?
I don't remember what uh, White was having us do.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. What do I need
One
to
does an
roll?
intelligence and one does a wisdom.
Sorry, I can only do one thing at a time.
Okay. What do we need? Who needs to roll what for teaching Dorinda survival skills?
Um, Dorinda intelligence, Eagle wisdom. And Verheist, roll your herbalism skill using wisdom, intelligence, or charisma. Okay, Verheist, you managed to make your potion. This is a greater healing potion, and it um, took you 2 herbalism stats, units, whatever you want to call them.
The supplies got it. And I look over at Elro and I say, "You only had one potion, right?"
2 great, 1 heal. Basically, 2 greater healing and 1 healing potion.
Okay, he gives one of those to. He gives the one he just made to Elro so that he at least has 3 greater heals.
Oh, cool.
Everybody should have at least 3 right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Hmm. How long do you guys spend working on this?
About 2 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, Eagle, you're having some trouble getting your points across, and Dorinda, for some reason, your mind's a little foggy, and you're struggling to make sense of what he's saying. Um, Both of you seem to be a little distracted, um, but you decide to push through it and continue trying anyway, since you don't exactly have anything else planned for your busy schedules at the moment. Um, you do manage to make a small amount of progress, but it's frustrating. And at the end of the 2 hours, you're both very tired and probably pretty irritated with each other.
I tell Drin, I think we need to stop and we'll carry on doing this at another time. Rest is important.
I agree. Heart's just not in it today.
At which I will go over and lay out my gear. Where are we at this point?
Approximately there.
All right, I'm going to suggest for a change that I take the first watch. Maybe I won't struggle so much.
Uh, I say that we start having the beginning, at least the beginning of each of the first and second watch. two people do it, and then you go on and do the full, and then I'll do the full. Or if you're starting to crash and the other person notices it, then they can wake up somebody else and say, okay, you need to take the second half to help. So at least
Mhm.
that first half of each of those shifts are there's a checksum of how is the other guy doing.
Well, I guess that's okay, but that means nobody gets full rest.
Well, yeah, everybody gets full rest because
Hmm.
you and I still do our two full ones. But if you're tired, then it covers us. Or if I'm tired, it covers us.
Hmm.
The rest is 8 hours, but the sleep is not. So your sleep or trance is 4 hours, and 4 hours of just whatever, and then the rest of ours is 6 hours sleep and then 2 hours whatever.
Yeah, I think he's suggesting that you guys start with, say, it would be Verheis and Eagle, and then after 2 hours, Eagle would go to bed, and then Verheis would finish the rest of the 4 hour watch on his own. And that way, if Eagle does, or if Verheis does fall asleep, Eagle would be able to wake him up and basically try to stave off, you know, the whole falling asleep issue. And then when
Yeah.
it comes to second watch, with Dorinda, uh, Elro, you'd wake up with her for that watch, for the first 2 hours of the watch, and then as long as she didn't fall asleep, after 2 hours, you'd go to sleep, or back to sleep. That's just an example of what I think he's suggesting.
It's exactly what I'm suggesting. Okay,
That's what I
Dorinda,
got.
you're taking first watch because that's what you wanted for right now. But just somebody takes that first 2 hours with you, and then in 4 hours you wake me up.
Or
Eh,
we could just pull 2 hour shifts apiece.
It's up to y'all.
I'd rather have the two people at any one at at least two times during the night for coverage.
Fine by me either way.
I'll take second watch, or okay, Dorinda and I a second watch. Elro, do you want to take third watch? Eagle, do you want to take third watch? And who wants to take first watch?
Huh?
What?
Okay, for me and me. Okay, do you guys want to take first or second watch? I'll just put it that way.
Impartial.
Then Bryce notices that both Dorinda and Elro or not Elro, but Igor are slightly, upset with each other, and he says, "Elro, you take first watch. Dorinda, wake me and uh, Eagle up when it's our shift."
I thought I was going to take first watch.
Right. And Elro's going to pull the first 2 hours with you.
Okay.
Okay. Dorinda and Elro, are you rolling together or rolling? Let me rephrase that. Are you both rolling, or are you rolling? One of you giving the other advantage?
I don't
I
care.
can
What
do
do
it
you
either
want to
way.
do, Ella?
I figured I'd help her with the roll.
Okay. Um, I'm sorry, Elro. I'm just now seeing your cartography roll. Um, yeah, it's the picture is awesome. I mean, 27. That it's yeah. The lines are smooth and very well drawn. There's no smudging, no. I mean, it's like the pen is just doing a Xerox of your memory in black and white.
Picture perfect.
Yep.
Awesome sauce.
Okay, I start out in my usual. Uh, Stir up the fire and then uh, make a circle around camp. Make sure everything seems to be in order, and then I move out just beyond firelight and um, stand and watch.
Okay, Elro, what are you doing during your 2 hours to watch?
Find a nice thick tree to lean up against and watch out.
Okay.
Somewhere away from the fire.
Okay. Okay. First 2 hours is quiet and uneventful. Um, there's not a whole lot happening, outside of nocturnal creatures and you know, kind of a cool wind blowing through the trees. Kind of more of a cold wind blowing through the trees.
I kind of adjust a little bit and pull my coat up tighter around the neck against that wind and make a full 360 just looking for any movement, but I'm not seeing anything.
Um, Elro, is your part in this watch experiment comes to a close, you settle down in your bedroll, if you have a bedroll, and get ready for sleep the rest of the night away. During the rest of your watch, oh, sorry, was there anything you wanted to do or say, Elro?
Nope.
Okay, sorry. Um, During the rest of your watch is just as quiet as it started. Nothing seems to be happening. Um, yeah, it's uneventful.
No, at the end of my watch, I go to Verheis, tap him on the shoulder, and say, "It's your turn. There's nothing happened. Everything's very quiet." I go onto my bed.
Thanks for the update. I'll walk over and wake up Eagle, tap him on the foot. So it sounds like it's been cleared for the night. It's just you and I for 2 hours, and it's been a nice night so far.
I'll stretch, wake up, and do a walk around the perimeter of the camp.
And we both roll for, or just one of us?
Well, normally it would be um, either you at advantage or you both roll, but he already rolled, so go ahead and roll as well.
I like with me with advantage.
Yeah, it doesn't always work out that nicely.
Technically, if it was you with advantage, it would be you with a normal roll since you have disadvantage, so it would cancel each other out.
He's right. So technically, you would still have the 14.
Anyway, I'll finish walking around the perimeter of the camp. I'll let Verhees know that I didn't see anything, and I'll set up on the opposite side of camp and outside of the firelight to start my 2-hour watch.
Okay. Um. Again, the worst part about the watch is that it's kind of a cold wind blowing. Um. Not really a whole lot going on tonight. Um, Halfway through, Eagle, you settle back down for your final 2-hour nap before sunup, and or before you know,
Yep.
you guys
I'll walk.
finish.
I'll walk over to Voorhees and let him know that my 2 hours is up. I'm gonna go lay down, and make sure he's okay.
Thanks for the night and enjoy your sleep.
I'll go over to my bedroll, crawl inside, close my eyes.
Okay. Verheis, the rest of your watch is quiet, uneventful, not much to talk about. And morning dawns.
Come morning, I wake everybody up. Let everybody know it's been a really quiet night, and it seemed like this is a good way to do it because everybody's or me and Dorinda are staying up to our shifts.
Yawn and stretch, and go pack up my gear. Get ready to move out.
I think whoever's got that third shift spot, I would hate to take that watch. You wake up after 4 hours for have to stay awake for two, and then have to go back to sleep for two. That would suck.
Been there and done that in real life, and yeah, if that.
Done it a couple of times. It does suck.
I mean, it wouldn't be. I mean, well, it'd still really suck, but it'd be okay if you had something to, something to do, something to, make the adrenaline pump, like, you know, dealing with something, you know, I don't know. I can't think of anything at the moment. But literally just sitting there watching a camp, there's no way I would stay awake. I'd be like, okay, yeah. 5 minutes after everyone else is snoring, I'd be snoring too. I'm sorry, that probably didn't make any sense to anyone.
Certainly did. You got to stay up and keep moving.
So is everybody packed up and ready to go?
Yep.
I'm ready.
Guess we'll move out.
Are there any feline prints around our camp anywhere?
Give me an investigation check. You don't see anything.
Yeah, I can see that.
You can't even see that you don't even see anything.
Yeah. It was an idle question. I hope somebody else is more observant than I.
I sure ain't.
Goodness. Eat hard.
Ain't nobody gonna see them tracks. We're lucky we can find a camp.
Well, as long as we're all doing this, go for the 0.
Hey, you got the best roll there.
Going for that. I was really going for that 1 with the -1.
That would have been funny. None of y'all see nothing.
Since we all didn't find any tracks around the camp, I want to go ahead and move out northwesterly direction. Using all my skills as a woodman. Make sure we don't get ambushed.
Okay, are you guys staying stealthy today again?
That's up to the group. They want to move slow or they want to move out quickly.
Since none of us have seen the paw prints, and the last ones we saw were behind us, let's go regular.
Okay by me.
Famous last words.
Hey, I said it because the rolls were just made it perfect. All right.
You want me to roll another perception check?
No, you've got one there.
Okay. Then I'm off and moving at a normal pace.
Hey guys, I hate to do this, but I'm really starting to hurt. I think I need to call it good night.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I know it's calling it early, but
Not by much.
Good by me. You take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Health is more important than anything.
Well, I guess I'll see the rest of you guys on Sunday.
I will see you on Sunday, Dad. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'll talk to the rest of y'all tomorrow too.
Right.
Yeah.
Have a good evening.
Yeah.
it was a good one.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Night.